Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Yeah, that was our new intro. New and improved.
It's just so cool.
We brought it today. There's an A game, and it was
appropriate
brought.
build-up for what this show is about.
Exactly.
Yes.
Get
Yeah,
ready.
between that and Matt's, I'm not saying it's a bad description, but your description of the show, which clearly references the Rebecca Black song Friday, I'd say we've got quite the show going.
Gotta get down on
can't
Friday.
wait.
Gotta
guys.
get down on Friday.
on
we
Friday.
have been playing that so much in the studio today.
A little bit.
I don't know why.
Because it's Friday.
It's neither here nor there.
She's right.
She does have a good point.
Yeah, it's a good point, Anna. Yeah, it is Friday.
So, you know, things on the show today. First off, I was a little bit late getting into the studio. I got here, but then I had to go get my hair cut, which I think, if you look, well worth
That's
it.
sharp. Yeah,
Well
yeah,
worth it.
I dig
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So I had to get trimmed up, have an event to go to tonight, so I wanted to look nice and clean.
An event.
A wedding.
All right.
I had a wedding to go to tonight. I
Well,
wanna look
it's
nice and
Friday. You say an event. It's like that could be anything. It's Friday. I mean, that could be anything, right?
clean. It could be.
It could be.
It's a wedding.
It's a wedding.
So
Congrats to the happy couple.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anything to do with that. But one of the things that I
Happy
was
to take credit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm giving my excuse for why I was running behind schedule and why the show just might suffer today. It's because of my hair.
Sure.
But I'm not alone in my wacky excuses for running behind schedule. We found a list of the top craziest things people have said to HR managers to explain their tardiness.
Okay.
You guys want to take a stab at some of the things that you may have said in the past?
This is to HR managers. So this
Yes.
isn't just like you stumbled in late and you're quickly saying to your boss, here's what happened. This is like you've been late a number of times.
It's a problem.
You're sitting down
Yeah.
with HR. Yeah, you've escalated this issue.
So you're saying this is why I was late maybe this week or this X amount of time
Sure.
or whatever it is. So what do you think? What do you think some of the excuses that would be tossed around?
Matt, you want to take this one? You got anything?
Well, I have an actual one that I don't. Is it an excuse if it's true? Is that
I think it's still an excuse.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you
it's
didn't
something
show
that
up on
actually
time.
happened?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I was driving to my first job, which was working at a movie rental store, and I hit an owl. Like an owl flew in front of my truck. This was at night. I was actually driving back there for some reason. I had gone to get something and I was driving back. And driving down a country road, and an owl flew in front of my truck, scared the daylights out of me. And because the thing was huge, so I slammed into it, and I was like, what in the world was that? And I got out, and it like got away, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
There were feathers stuck in my grill and everything like that. But yeah, it took me, it delayed me about 10 minutes, and my manager said, why were you late? And I said, I hit an owl, and they said, likely excuse.
Look at the feathers, man.
The
Yeah.
feathers. I didn't save any of the feathers.
If
but,
there was any kind of point-based award system for hitting roadkill, birds are a big one.
Yeah.
Not easy to hit a bird with a car, so well done, Matt. And I
I've done it
appreciate. Go ahead.
I've done it a couple of times. Not an owl, but I have hit birds on the highway.
Really?
It almost seems like you're trying to now. It's like that's
Yeah,
your
I'm
intention.
aiming at
What's the
them.
thing? You can't try to hit a bird either way. I appreciate the specificity with your like you specified that it was an owl.
Yeah.
It makes it seem more real. Like an owl ran into my car. It wasn't
Yeah.
just a bird. It was an owl. I would imagine. Annie, you got anything?
No, I actually don't.
I don't have anything.
She's never late
I don't
for
have
her.
anything specific, but if I had to guess, one of the biggest reasons is going to be some kind of issue with transportation from your home to the job, right? Automotive trouble,
Yeah.
flat tire, traffic. Those have got to be big ones, right? Those have got to be the hits.
Those are big ones, but those
Right.
aren't the crazy ones. So the list is like of the most outrageous.
Oh, the wild.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
obscure.
One of them was it's too cold to come to work. I would have been here on time, but it's just too cold outside. Texas, you don't really have that. Maybe up in parts of Maine or Boston, you could try to get
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
but-
I could imagine a scenario where it was just too cold to go outside. Sure, absolutely.
Well, no. We can imagine that as Texans. Like, I got some family up in Michigan. They don't let each other slide because the way they see it, they all have to endure the cold.
That's not
so
okay.
if you're up
Yeah, go
north
ahead.
and all your other coworkers make it in, you say it's too cold. That just makes you look weak. Like, that's no good.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, that won't fly. So, I mean, but down here, yeah, maybe. I can get behind it. It's too cold.
The other
Why
one
not?
was my coffee was too hot, and I had to wait at home to let it cool off. That also sounds like a total punt.
Hard
to
pass.
me. Yeah.
What?
That is
Okay.
not a. That is in no way a valid excuse.
And then from the high school element, the dog ate my work schedule. And then
The dog ate my work schedule. Okay.
Yeah, and then confusing the gender. One person said, I had a bad bout of morning sickness, which could be a real thing.
Sure.
Okay, but this was a man.
Yeah.
And men don't get morning sickness when they're pregnant.
I mean, they could get sick in the morning.
Yeah, they could get sick in the morning, but it's not called morning sickness. Oddly enough.
It's not this. It's obviously not morning sickness. I had a Friday once when I couldn't come in the morning. I was legitimately, I had the flu. I was like laid up. So I really was, in all aspects of the flu, wasn't feeling very great. And I got in later that afternoon, and some people told me, hey, it's. You don't have to make up excuses. It's okay to come in late on Thursday if you're not feeling that great on Friday. Thursday. I get it. And I was like, no. I really was like not feeling great. I wanted to come in and get some things done because I had due dates, but like
People making assumptions.
right, people just assuming that I was lying because it's Friday and like, yeah, you're stumbling to work a few minutes late, he's probably hungover. Like, no. I'm walking the straight and narrow.
Was there no temptation to lean into that and go, oh yeah, totally, bros?
Yeah, make it cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, if it happened like now, yeah, totally, absolutely. But back then, I was, young professional and didn't know any better. So
trying to stick to it.
yeah, of course.
On my way home from my late excuse, which was our way here from the hairdresser.
Yeah.
All I heard on the radio, I want to bring this guys up and see what your thoughts are. All I heard on the radio was about NDAs, which is non-disclosure agreements.
Right.
Which I don't think any of us had to sign to work here.
Not yet.
Up until
Not yet.
now.
No.
Go ahead.
Yep.
You're gonna find a email in all of your
Right.
But, so there's two things that are in the news right now, and so I'm kind of handling this as if I would explain it to my parents if they asked me like, what's happening in the news with this story. So there's two forms of non-disclosure agreements that are in the news. One is the one that all White House staffers had to sign.
Right.
And the other one was for just Stormy Daniels.
Okay.
Yep.
So those are two different non-disclosure agreements. The first one you can pretty much chunk. If your boss ever gives you a non-disclosure agreement to as employment, you can still report criminal acts. That's totally fine.
Right.
Good to know.
I don't think any of them cover any NDA covers a criminal
No.
act.
No.
That's not.
You're pretty much, from what I was hearing at least on the way in from lawyers saying
Sure.
employment NDAs are pretty hard to enforce. But the one with Stormy Daniels was an actual term of agreement. Like, hey, we'll sign this agreement. So that became a binding contract. So that's a much harder one to break.
Right.
She's actually already broken it by talking to the National Enquirer. But
I think part of an NDA is not to talk about that you have one. I believe is part of the rules.
It's kind of like Fight Club in that
Kinda like
regard.
Fight Club,
Yeah. It's the first rule. So I would love to handle any NDA questions that we are totally unqualified to answer.
Yes,
I've got
Yeah,
one.
leave them in the comments,
I have an NDA question,
Yeah.
actually. Are you, and this is something I got from doing radio stuff back in the day, because I remember DJs would tell me, they offer advice to like a young board op, and one of them was you don't have to sign stuff like that as an employee. You just don't. If your boss slides you an NDA, you can be like, nope,
Yep.
and they can't fire you for it because that wasn't part of like your initial employment agreement. I don't know. Is that a real thing, or is it like no, they can fire you for not signing?
From
the NDA?
from what they were saying on the drive-in, this is where the lawyers that were talking about.
Yes.
A
So this-
seasoned expert
the
here.
seasoned expert that heard it third party removed.
Right.
Yeah.
From what I heard from driving, which we all know that listening to audio is not nearly as good as reading it.
That's totally the same.
That's right. Yeah. Had you read this, I'd believe it.
So the lawyer said that for an employment that the non-disclosure agreement the White House staffers signed, that's not valid. It's not that won't hold up in court. So they can't take you to court over that.
Right, but is that just because of the White House, or is that
No, just in general.
Okay.
Like that will never hold up. Now, usually what I have experienced, and I signed a handful of non-disclosure agreements.
Have you really?
In my day,
Right.
mostly working for private homes, like when I worked a long time ago for a private home.
Okay.
We signed an NDA, like we won't discuss what happens in the house, whatever it is. And I just signed it. I didn't go, well, my lawyer
There's
says,
no malicious intent or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just like a
But
sure.
if I didn't sign it, I probably wouldn't have gotten hired.
Yeah.
So like that for them, that was a, hey, sign this, now sign this, you're hired.
But that's more of a personal agreement.
Personal
between two
agreement,
people,
yeah.
Right, and that's as you're starting the process. It's not like you're halfway through a gig and suddenly it's like, oh, hey, sign this, by the way. What have we done so far? Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, so that's anyway. It's one of those deals. I think it's interesting to see how this plays out. Apparently, we're going to hear how whether or not Stormy can tell her tale
Right.
on Sunday night. So
as far as the White House people are concerned, I don't know if anybody has anything to offer in regards to this conversation. Might be completely alone here.
Really.
I thought White House employees serve the public, right? Like,
Sir.
well, I mean, they're
Yes,
supposed
yeah.
to. So, like, can you have them sign an NDA? Is that like a thing? Or
So that was brought up as well. That everything that you do when you're a public worker, but when you work for the public,
sure, the public sector
is open.
Right.
You can pull things and you can read different things and you can see every email allegedly that everyone has ever sent from your senator to whoever. It's all open to be pulled from. So I don't know what the NDA would actually cover. Either way, I just think it's fascinating that everyone's talking about a non-disclosure agreement throughout the entire United States right now because of a girl who worked in the adult entertainment industry. Right. It's fascinating.
Well, there's some kind of mystique to it, right? There's this contract that says you can't talk about what happened
Right,
here.
secrets.
Like, yeah, there's something that just draws our attention societally, I think.
What are they hiding?
Intriguing. Yeah. What's going on behind the curtain? We want to know. Yeah, it's interesting.
The bigger issue is that they were saying that even though the non-DA isn't binding, the problem that they think about is what it tells your employees.
Yeah.
So, for instance, here none of us have signed one, but if Jeff made us all sign an NDA, that would be like, okay, now we can't talk about it. Like it makes you feel weird.
Yeah.
Raising questions.
Right.
And that was kind of like what they said. Maybe the intent behind the NDA was for the lawyers, even though they knew they couldn't enforce it.
Right.
Either way, it's kind of fun to see how it all plays out. I'll be curious if she gets to tell her tale or not. But
Yeah.
has this been kind of like done in previous administrations too, or just this one?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
They
it
said-
wouldn't have been raised, right?
Yeah, so I know if you have a top, I've heard if you have a top security clearance, you have to sign some
By
stuff.
default, yeah.
But for the most part, generic staffers don't have to sign one. It's just one of those deals like don't do stupid stuff in front of staffers.
Right.
Like that's more of the rule.
Yeah, it's more like common
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a layup anyway.
Andy
So-
on Facebook saying "Free Stormy," so
Yeah.
we know where he,
In all
where he
caps.
lies.
Yeah.
on this one.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, though, we have an interesting story about a beer ad being banned. Want to hear why and what you think? Coming up next on the Lunch Break Show. And we are back on the Lunch Break Show here on RNC, and I am Josh in studio with Zach Lewis, Matt Stoker, and Anna Xavier. How's it going, everyone?
All good.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
It's
So-
Friday.
Friday indeed.
You got to
Yes.
get down on Friday.
We're so excited. We're so excited.
We should be
We're so
excited.
excited.
Actually, Sarah from upstairs checking in saying our new page, our RNCN page, made 500 likes today. Keep liking and sharing.
I'll
that
take
page,
500
folks.
likes. That's a
Yeah.
good time.
And
500. Good lord.
and I don't like correcting you, Zach, but it's we excited. We
Right.
so
We
excited.
so excited.
excited.
Yes.
So,
For those of you,
heaven forbid you put in the correct grammar. I want to make sure.
right?
We
For,
get that.
for those of us who aren't seasoned Friday connoisseurs like Josh here, Rebecca Black's Friday says we so excited.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, tomorrow is Saturday, and Sunday comes afterwards.
Afterwards. I don't want this weekend to end.
Yeah. Dear God. Okay, so back on track. In Australia, things get a little crazy in the outback. Australia, there's a beer ad for their beer, and I wouldn't be tempted if I was perusing the aisle for the Rusty Yak. Is the name of the beer.
Rusty Yak?
Yeah, that's the beer company, but it's their gingery ale. And so they have an ad. I'll play it for you here.
Gingery? Mm-hmm. Just not ginger. I suppose I should turn your
There
computer
we go.
up. Yeah,
Play it
that
for
would
you
help.
now,
Go ahead,
and there we
please.
go.
Yeah.
Professionals.
At Yak Ales, we've made a shocking discovery. The ginger gene. Floating around in our beer, just like it's been floating around in human DNA, surprising families for generations. The result? Crisp and zingy Rusty Yak Gingery Ale. We need your help to stop the spread of the gene. Search inside Yak six-packs, and if you find a hidden rusty bottle, we'll reward you greatly. Start searching, Australia.
Okay.
So go ahead.
When I first saw this, by the way, you can find the video on YouTube. I'm sure just search Rusty Yak Gingery Ale, and there you go. When I first saw this, I was like, it's a joke, clearly a joke. And then it got to the line where it says we need to eradicate this gene.
Yeah.
That's probably like
Proposing some sort of genocide.
Yeah, that's probably the straw that would break the camel's back.
I don't really know where to jump in here. First, kudos for playing that on the show. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're accepting of all people here.
Shining a light on.
Secondly,
hatred around the world.
this is one of those things that I love about public stunts for companies, because on the one hand, you can have something like on Wednesday's show when we talked about Einstein Brothers cheese bacon shampoo, right?
Yeah.
Funny, goofy. Doesn't really hurt anybody. You can go the other way, like Rusty Yak, where you have something that's like mildly offensive. Mildly might be putting it lightly. It's offensive and just kind of get it blown up that way. I guess all PR is good PR, right? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So kudos, and also, man, that was really, really mean to a good chunk of
Are
people in the
redheads
world
like
who don't catch enough flack already. Yeah, for
I was
just
gonna
looking
say,
the
are
way they
redheads
do.
the socially acceptable cross section of people that's it's okay to make fun of them? I guess like everybody just seems to dunk on them whenever.
Well, I know that in the UK it's a big thing to pick on redheads as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of
It's a universal hatred. I got
yeah,
it. Yeah.
unfortunately. They it said something like, it's cool a lot of kids get told, "Oh, you don't have soul," and things
Right,
like
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, it was a
Same here?
Yeah.
I don't
same
know.
Here.
Oh, that
Okay.
happens in Portugal?
Oh,
No,
no, in
in-
the UK.
in the
Oh, just in the UK. Gotcha.
Yeah, in Portugal, if you're actually a redhead, you're like, you're so exotic.
Right.
Well,
kind
I
of
think,
unique.
I think
right?
we used to be
Yes.
that way here, and then we crossed some kind of line, and now we all just have this collective disposition towards gingers. I didn't want to use the word hate.
I don't even really understand why people. I feel like it's just one of those. I guess you call it a cultural meme, perhaps. That like people just think it's okay to make fun of redheads, and nobody really. I won't say nobody, but I think most of us don't really hate anybody that has red hair.
No,
Ed
But it's-
Sheeran, hello.
Ed Sheeran, hello.
Yeah.
It's funny, yeah, because it's like you know what? I don't know. I feel like I'm
Let's
stepping into a
unpack this.
minefield.
Let's
I don't
unpack
want to say something stupid and end up in the audiobook book argument again. So I'm just thank you for that slide whistle. I
do
appreciate
know-
it.
I
no
do
idea what that was
know-
supposed to signify.
I do know that during Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, I
Yes.
forget his Rupert something or other.
Rupert Grint.
That's the one. He came out. It's like it was so good for me to be in Harry Potter and people seeing redheads on TV.
A hero.
It
For
seemed
redheads.
Like It
Yes.
was like one of those like you're not like
Yeah.
But I guess in the UK it's a much bigger deal.
I guess so, but still, like, Ron was not. I mean, from what I remember, Ron was not the guy that would step in. He would be like the sidekick, and
Yeah, he's a sidekick, but he's still one of the main characters.
He's not
I
the
think-
Jackie Robinson of redheads.
Yeah, but he's not like I don't think like the quintessential what people mock about redheads though.
No.
Like he's not like he has an ivory complexion. But it's not like it's pale. It's an ivory complexion.
He doesn't have a whole lot of freckles.
Doesn't have a whole lot of freckles. And so yeah, the people I know that have red hair, that's kind of like their thing, if you will.
Wasn't on the book, Jeannie, his sister, younger sister, wasn't she a ginger too?
Who is this?
Ginny Weasley.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, all the
His sister.
Weasleys were
Yeah,
red.
yeah,
Were.
but
I don't think the term ginger was ever used in the books, but I could be wrong.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I do know I have a friend who I brew beer with who he's red-headed, and his son is red-headed. And I will say that he said, and this is coming from a redhead, that they have a higher pain tolerance.
What?
Yeah. Higher pain tolerance.
What?
Oh, what is
something that's
They
what is
said
that?
it's genetic. I don't know.
That's that redheaded elitism that gets you into a position
So
where
it
you're
went
at.
we're all okay.
Right. And now I get
take
seeing
him
that
down a notch.
you brew beer with somebody who may be considered a ginger. Now I
is.
get
Yeah.
right. He is right.
Yeah.
It's no. Now I get why you wanted to play this bit because you're talking about beer with ginger genes in it.
Well,
Do you think he would be offended by this?
no, because our beer is called Ginger Curls because he has ginger hair and I have
wow.
curly hair, so we're Ginger Curls.
Yeah, the logo is quite something.
Thank you, yeah.
I loved it.
You've seen the logo?
I've seen
Oh,
the
yeah.
logo.
I didn't know anything about this.
I
Do you have
brew
it like
beer.
bottled?
Yeah, we bottle beer.
Really?
Yeah, sell it out of my garage. It's great.
Can we get some on the show? Try it out. Shameless plug.
Yeah, we
Ginger
could.
curls.
We
I'd
could-
try that.
We could do that.
What kind? What sort of kind of
Stout?
The one we have right now
An ale?
is it's a
IPA.
It's not a red, is it?
You're just throwing
We've done red before. We've done Imperial Reds, but no,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a we have a
red,
stout
wow.
right now. So
Okay.
I think it's vanilla stout without the
Ooh.
vanilla. But
Without the
either way,
vanilla.
yeah, it was a big mistake.
We do have one redhead that works with us upstairs. Brandy.
Oh, yeah.
that's true.
I was gonna say maybe we should have got her on
Our
for this
biggest
segment.
fan. Yeah, because she.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's probably in reception
Crying.
yelling at us.
Brandy,
Guys,
if you're offended by what we're doing down here, please come down and
just
let us know.
storm in the
It was
studio.
all Matt's fault. When we come back, we're going to talk
It
about
was. It absolutely was.
people who go on
I
vacation
laugh at redheads.
and they pay to decompress. We'll tell you about that and what we could do as the lunch break show to help you decompress when you're on vacation. And we are back on the Lunch Break Show. I am Josh here with Zach, Matt, and Anna. You can watch us live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. And I had a request, by the way, that we put the audio on podcast files from someone. via
Who requested
email. My hairstylist.
Oh, nice.
She listens to podcasts on Outcast, Upcast,
Yeah.
whatever it was. That one. So
Outcast.
is that a?
You ever hear of Outcast?
Is that a thing?
Outcast.
All the other
With a K?
RNC shows are on there except for ours. So,
Oh, gotcha. Wait, all of our shows are on there?
yeah.
I've never heard of this before in my life.
Is it out? Either way, I'm getting way off topic. But one of those.
There's no. There's a couple.
Wait, is it
websites like
Overcast?
this.
That's the one.
Overcast.
Overcast.
We're on Overcast. Did you
I
put us?
guess.
Did you put us on Overcast?
I use Overcast.
I didn't put us on Overcast.
Well, remember that there's a lot of aggregators. You just put them on iTunes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they'll just pull. You don't need to manually do that.
It scrubs.
It's great.
Different services.
Probably a
and
good idea
grabs
not
them.
to show that we don't know what we're doing during the
That we
live
know, we're there,
podcast.
of course.
No.
Intentional.
The aggregators intrigue me because what's it all for, right? What are they?
Just
Why?
Just a different service. I like
Yeah.
Overcast. I think the Overcast player is great.
You have to pay for Overcast?
No. It's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
See
I mean,
what
there
mean?
is a paid version where they run a little bitty banner ad underneath on the player, but I never have it up. I always have my phone locked when I'm listening to it. So it's great.
I'm torn. On the one hand, I appreciate that there are other services picking up all our hard work and dedication, and that people want to listen. That's great. On the other hand, like I like to know, like to know my brand. Where are we? How are we represented?
We're everywhere. Always.
Even on Overcast.
Worldwide,
That's right.
baby.
Yeah. Shout out to Overdrive. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
An article is out
Overcast.
about a
Overcast.
group that we were talking about before recently, a few episodes back, about people who go on vacation and want to unplug and unwind. And 37% of Americans say they have a hard time truly unplugging and relaxing, even when they're on vacation. Do you guys have that same problem?
37%,
Yep.
1 in 3. I guess that's pretty accurate, right? What do you think?
I would have thought it would have been higher.
It actually is
Yeah.
higher. It's 73% say they can't do it. Or
Oh,
63.
okay.
What? Look at that.
Only 37% actually do unplug.
I guess that does surprise me. And I only because I guess it shouldn't, because in the age of smartphones, like, it's so easy to not unplug. But, like, what does unplug mean, really? Do you mean you're not checking your work emails, or do you mean you're not checking social media? Because I would argue, if you're looking at social media, if you're not checking your work emails, that's unplugged. You're unplugged from your job. You're on vacation. That's what it is. But if you think that being connected to the internet and seeing what other people are doing doesn't mean you're unplugged, I think you're
Yeah, well, I mean,
going
I
the
think
wrong
we talked
direction.
about this, about how it's hard for any of us to leave our phones anywhere
Sure.
without us.
Yeah.
Now we feel empty without them in a way. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think if unplugging is simply looking at your phone for anything, checking social media or checking your emails, that number sounds about right.
Right, and I'm approaching this from a very narrow viewpoint because this is simply my experience. For somebody like Anna, who's freelanced a lot, you probably have a lot of trouble doing something like that because you freelance. That's kind of your gig.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it had been times when I went on holiday, but took my laptop with me and would have to be on holiday, but not on holiday for sure, because
Yeah.
I would get an email and then, well, even though it's daytime here, it's
Yeah.
nighttime there, and then vice versa, and you're just like, this is all messing up with my holiday. But I think actually, because what is unplugging, right? What is like to chill and disconnect? We are not, because when you're on holiday, you're thinking, oh, I must tell everyone, share with my friends what I'm doing
Right.
and all these things. So you're not really enjoying, you're not relaxing and unwinding.
Yeah.
You're still keeping the same pace, in my opinion. Life kind of still goes the same way in that
Yeah.
sense. You just don't lose your habits. You just carry on doing the same things in a different place.
Brief sidebar here. See, if we just did this in audio form, you wouldn't be able to see those cool air quotes to know that she said on holiday.
You feel them, though.
That's
You know
right.
they're there.
Yeah.
You know
Holiday.
It's
She
it's
hit-
that
she hit it.
pause.
Yeah.
I do think the work thing is speaking from only an American perspective, but it does feel like the work thing is very much an American thing, where we pride ourselves on being workaholics. That's not better than other parts of the
No.
world. I think
Yeah.
we kind of do it to our own detriment, where we say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we work so much, we can't get away." Whereas I feel like other countries are able to kind of silo that off a little bit better than we do.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
It's weird. I think a lot of other countries have more vacation time than we do, right? We do like 2
Yep.
weeks and that's it. Yeah.
yeah. Well, in Portugal, you get like 23 days in a year.
Really?
Yeah.
We get
And the UK
10?
has 24
Mm-hmm.
or something. Yeah. And then I think if you go to northern countries, the northern countries would have way more. Actually, if
They
you
barely
visit,
work up there.
if you visit, I went to Norway, to Oslo, and oh my God, in summer it was August, and the town it was empty.
Yeah.
Because everybody just went to Portugal, Spain, Italy, France, all the countries. They're just like, no, we just go and for the
Just gonna
month.
shut
Right.
down for a
And I'm
month.
like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Spain also has like the 2-hour lunch break, and over there they have kids that when they get out of high school, before they go to college or university, they take a gap year. Take a year. We just travel and okay. Well, you look surprised by that, but
I thought it was more of an
people in the
American
UK
thing.
did that. That is not. I mean, I'm not.
It's becoming an American thing.
Yeah, just to freeload and couch surf. We
Yeah,
don't do
same.
anything with that time. Like, we're just terrible about it. Over there, they like travel and go do things, right? I mean, that's
Yeah, not in Portugal. Remember, we don't have that much money, so we're
Very
kind of
humble.
We still
a
work for our
poorer
keep, yeah.
country. Yeah. So in the UK, I know a lot of people that did that. I just took
Yeah.
a break and did that, which is cool. I mean, rather than just like submerging into any degree or any path, you just take a trip and get to know yourself.
I tried something new last big vacation for me, which was right around Christmas. I took like a week and change. Normally when I go on vacation, I check all my emails, reply accordingly, stay plugged in. Christmas, I was like, not going to do it. I'm just going to ignore all of them and just deal with it when I get back. And that was great up until, and Matt, you remember this, like the day before when I came back to work, because that whole day I was like, oh my God, I'm so doomed. I probably missed things. People needed me for something. Like it's going to be a total mess. I was like a train wreck. I was so stressed
I think
out
if anybody really needed you, they would have called you.
Right. That's
so
the theory.
It's kind of not.
And it turned out, it worked out. It was okay. And I was just curious how you all do your vacation. Yeah. Do you stay completely unplugged? Do you check in every once in a while? Do you watch it all? I mean, where are you?
If I am in the States, as they say, if I stay in the United States, I'll be on my email.
Okay.
I'm bad about replying back to email anyway, but at the end of the night, I'll go through it, I'll check some off, or I'll forward things to someone else. Say, hey, I'm out. Can you handle that?
If it takes less than 1 minute to do, right?
Pop.
Yeah.
If I go international, unplugged.
Right. You're just off.
So I spent 2 weeks in the Philippines, never checked my phone. I could have even not have had my phone. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Spent 2 weeks in Europe, same thing in the UK, and 2 weeks in Spain and Paris or France, and the same thing. Didn't have my phone. Well, I had my phone, but it's often in my bag.
Yeah.
So I just completely unplugged.
Do you have a preference? Which one you like more? Whether you kind of stay plugged in and stay on top of it, or
I
just?
think I like that. I like that combination of because the deal is I don't have the international plan, and I'm too cheap to buy one. So I can't use my phone. So I would have to like find a way to purposefully go out of my way to find a port to plug in and use the Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, it's a whole hassle.
It's a whole hassle, and so I just don't do it. Whereas if I'm in DC or New York or Seattle, I still can use my phone. I can still have access.
Yeah.
So I don't mind sending a text or shooting off an email because it's not that big of a hassle for me.
Right. Not to mention, it's completely reasonable that if you get back and somebody did need you for something. I mean, you're not lying. You're like, I was overseas.
Yeah.
Happens. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's a wide world we live in. Matt, how about yourself? You completely unplug? You kind of stay tuned in?
No, I stay. The few times that I actually go anywhere, I do stay. I check my email.
Right.
However, I could do it if I wanted to, and it sounds like, at least from this article that we have, that there are other people who just don't have that sort of willpower to be able to say, I'm not checking email, I'm not answering phone calls, I'm not sending text messages.
Well, it's challenging because you're going on vacation, you're trying to relax, and if you completely unplug in a way that you haven't for a long time, the first few days are going to be rough.
Yeah, sure.
You got withdrawals, man. You're jonesing for that email. You want to come back and get the goods, but I think it's worth it at the end of the day. I really do. I think that sense of relaxation is unmatched.
Yeah.
To just get away from it. So
I think that there's two sides to that. I think if anyone else in your team can do your job, then you can actually unplug. If no one else in your team can do your job, then you're probably gonna be stressing out if you're really important.
No one else can do your job. That's the best reason.
Right.
To
I was gonna say I disagree.
Me.
Yeah. If somebody else can do your job and you're off the grid, you might come back in 2 weeks and it's like, hey man, this guy puts you to shame. Yeah. You better get back on the ball.
Well, to be honest, one time I went on holiday and I was called on WhatsApp for direction on how to use these software to edit these documents. They clearly didn't want to send me and like, oh, can you change this? So they were asking me for a tutorial pretty much on how to do whatever they needed to do. I was like, what's the point of that?
Might as well just send it.
Right, yeah, it'd be almost easier to let you do it. Yeah.
It was hilarious. I was like, just send it. I was by the pool and I was like, yeah, I'll be home in like 10 minutes. I'll do that. So it was really funny. I was like, I'd rather do that myself than spend an hour on the phone with you.
But there are people, according to this, that are actually paying other people in order to unplug them.
Yeah, the point of the article is that people are actually paying so that they don't have the option and they have to unplug. It's stupid to me. Why you're paying for this bonus feature is whatever. There is a resort in Mexico that you pay to get off the grid, and it has no Wi-Fi, no phones, and there's like a pulsar, so you can't get calls in or out.
Isn't that actually illegal?
Illegal. Well, you know what? It's in Mexico, so I mean, who knows?
Anything goes there.
Who knows?
Yeah, Mexico's a no man's land. God knows what. It's like the Wild West.
No, and I don't know it's illegal here in the States. I don't know. And obviously, if they're promoting it, it's probably not illegal in that state or in that area of Mexico. I would imagine.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah, it's again, I think that's excessive.
Yeah, that's like paying your own ransom to be taken hostage.
Yeah.
Like,
And it
why
also
would you want
sounds
that?
super dangerous to not be able to get out or get, no communication in or out, but whatever.
Which is why we're offering the service to this building. If you need to come leave your cell phone down here and not be and unplug, we'll charge a very minimal but reasonable fee.
$5 a day.
Yeah.
$5 a day. We'll hold your phone in a shoebox in the drawer of our desk.
We'll lock the door.
Yeah.
We won't let you in.
In our front desk in a cardboard shoebox.
Yeah.
That's where your precious phone will be.
You can be
along with other
unplugged
clothing items.
Right.
anytime. Don't worry about it. We'll even, for an additional $100, we'll drive you to the airport, knowing your phone will be in the shoebox at our front desk, totally free.
I am curious, real quick, as a coworker, when somebody else goes on vacation, how do you feel about contacting them?
Unless I absolutely have to. I
Right. Unless it is absolute emergency, I won't do it.
Yeah, I have other coworkers who have not had that problem.
Yeah.
But
It's always weird when you run into a professional who doesn't. He's on vacation. We'll call him, but he's on vacation. Who cares? Yeah, like it's strange.
But yeah, I do my best not to.
We have a couple people here that like that. I wonder if they'd like to come on the show and defend themselves.
I think those kind of people though don't ever take vacations.
I would agree.
And so, like, I have no idea who you're talking about. But I know that I've been around our owner and president Jeff for a long period of time, and he's always on his phone.
Jeff is the ultimate networker.
He answers emails. He never takes a day of vacation. He could be in Spain, and I have still gotten emails from Jeff from his hotel in Spain. He still
I imagine he could be at this resort and still find a way to get through somehow.
I've paid a guy to bring me an Ethernet cable.
Right. The man has a backup phone he keeps in his sock just in case of emergency.
A satellite phone.
I think that's and I don't think he would do that, but I think that those are the kind of people who are always on.
Yeah.
It's always thinking about it. So we come back, though. We have America's favorite Girl Scout cookie. The debate will rage on.
Oh, Jen, I have the answer to this
coming
one.
back on the Real News coming back on Real News Communication Network here on the lunch break. Good God. I got it, though. And we are back on the Lunch Break Show. This is RNCN, and I am Josh with Matt Stoker in the studio, Zach Lewis, and Anna Xavier. We are here talking about things that are topical and trending. Love your comments on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you so much. You can also find these shows if you missed the first part. Immediately following the show, the whole thing will be posted live on those three outlets. Right now we're talking about Girl Scout cookies. They've been, I'm sure, knocking on your door. Moms bring them into your offices, all those kind of things. And that's...
You can't escape them.
You can't escape them. Yeah, they're everywhere. And that is a small pet peeve of mine. I'm going to get on a soapbox here. Before we go in to what was crowned as America's favorite.
No, I will join you on this soapbox, sir. Please. Yeah, go ahead.
I do not like it when parents bring the boxes here to the office to sell.
Right.
It's Girl Scouts, not Mom Scouts. Not Mom and Dad Scouts, not Business Scouts. It is Girl Scouts.
Right.
If I don't mind the Girl Scouts, waiting for you out in front of the Tom Thumb or the Applebee's, but the Tom Thumb or the Market Street or whatever it is, that's fine. That's the girls hawking their wares. Totally fine. I have an issue when the mom walks in and is like, "You're gonna buy one of these."
Right.
So I have a blanket no. I don't buy any Girl Scout cookies unless it's from an actual Girl Scout.
Right. It's a clever move because of the convenience. Because for somebody like me, if I want Girl Scout cookies, I live in an apartment. Nobody comes knocking. We don't get solicitors, so I have to seek them out. And it's not like it's particularly easy. Well, it's true, and it's not like it's particularly easy for me to just find Girl Scout cookies. I got to be at a grocery store at the right time.
Yep.
You know, like you just kind of have to luck into them. So when somebody brings them to the office, it's convenient. And I get why it would be easy for people to say, no, that's great. Like I can get my Girl Scout cookies at work. I can buy them right there. I can use Venmo to buy my cookies. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way. Like if Girl Scout cookies are gonna be sold by Girl Scouts, Girl Scouts should sell them. Now, what's interesting to me is how they've been selling them. I know in states like Colorado, there have been some questionable practices about where they're setting up shop. All right, outside of certain places that sell things that are exclusive to that state. What was interesting to me, I saw a couple weeks ago. I went to a Mexican restaurant in like Highland Village, and this is Friday night, like 8 o'clock. Girl Scout cookie stand outside of this restaurant.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hawking Girl Scout
Really?
cookies. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And there were people buying them because they were like, wow, you're right here. I happen to be out. Perfect. I'll take a couple boxes.
Now, as far as the work thing goes, I mean, does it matter how they push it? I mean, if they're pushy about it, then yeah. But if they just go around and say, hey, my daughter's selling Girl Scout cookies. Do you guys want any? I'll bring some up for you tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. No.
When I was
Not even that? Not even just making it easy for you to say.
Because it always starts off as that, Matt. It always starts off with the subtle,
the slippery slope argument.
Yeah, with the whole like, oh no, I don't want to be a big deal. I'm just gonna put the sign up sheet right here. If you want some, come by. No pressure.
Sure.
That's year one. Year two, it's hey guys, I'm back. I know you guys all want some. Here's a sign up sheet. That's year two.
You all bought them last year.
Year three, hey guys, come on. You know, she's 4 boxes behind Sally down there. You know Sally.
Oh, man.
Her mom, you know, it's a whole song and a dance. And then it's a not gonna stop until you actually buy one. And if you say you don't want them, it's okay. It's okay because now they have a convenient route. It's okay if you don't want to buy one because now we give boxes for troops. Do you not want to buy our armed soldiers? Boxes?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a slippery slope. So I just have a hard no. Hard no.
But
on
you
the
do
whole
like
thing.
Girl Scout cookies, right?
Of course, I eat them all the time. I love them.
So you'll buy Girl Scout cookies if you at a Girl Scout cookie stand, right? With a card table and like that, you'll do it, right?
Yep.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was in Boy Scouts, and my dad and I would do the Pinewood Derby. Never won, not bitter about it.
Came in fourth once.
Came in fourth, right? I think I came in fifth once. And my dad would always be very particular. I was young. I didn't really know how to use certain tools, use a saw and that kind of thing, but I wasn't particularly skilled at it, right? I didn't have any craftsmanship. And my dad would always say, let's work on the Pinewood Derby car. And he would never, ever do it himself. I had to be at least standing there because he's like, I'm not doing it for you. Your dad doesn't make your Pinewood Derby car, all right? At the very least, you have to learn something from it.
You got to be involved in the process.
You have to be involved somehow. Yeah, and I think it's a good practice because what's the point otherwise besides making money for the Girl Scout cookie company?
Yeah.
Also, a brief tangent. One time in college, I got the brilliant idea because in Denton there is a Girl Scout store where you can go buy, things for your Girl Scout like the vest or whatever. I didn't really know. Yeah. And right around Girl Scout cookie season, I didn't really know how to use Twitter and couldn't find out where Girl Scout cookies were going to be. So I got the brilliant idea of taking my roommate and just going to the Girl Scout store. Brilliant. I'll just buy the cookies there. It's a Girl Scout store.
Do they have them?
No.
Oh.
I walked in and the woman looked at me like I was insane when I was like, I'd like a couple boxes of Girl Scout cookies. She said, we don't have those. It's like, what do you
dare
mean?
you.
Yeah, she's like, well, you have to get them from the Girl Scouts. Like, this is the Girl Scout store. I'm getting them from you. Why
You are
wouldn't
the Girl Scout.
You telling me you don't have a couple boxes in the back you can sell? Where would Girl Scouts get the Girl Scout cookies from?
And why can't they just put Girl Scout cookies on the shelf?
That's the other big question.
Like, just let us buy them as we want to buy them, and then the money can go back to the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Why are we this whole song and dance about having to?
I'll tell you why. I can get right to the bottom of this. The same reason Disney has the Disney Vault. Artificial supply and demand. If they were available all year round, they just kind of sell them loosely. They wouldn't do that well. But if they're only available during certain times, in certain places, you buy in bulk. And you make more money immediately, and then the rest of the year you kind of just hang out.
Now, do you like them coming by your? I assume they come by your house as well, Josh.
I have a giant no soliciting sign by my house.
So that they understand what that means.
They understand.
If they don't, I make them understand.
Yep.
I have never had anyone come by my house because I assume because again back in my day, that was 20 some odd years ago. When I had to go door to door, I legitimately had to go door to door. My parents didn't come with me. It was hot. I had to sell.
I hated it. I
had
hated
to
doing
sell
that stuff.
crappy chocolate bars for $1 or whatever it was. Everyone I talked to was a diabetic all of a sudden. Like, it was one of those deals. Like, yeah, I had to go through that same thing. There was no like, hey, my mom and dad didn't bring a box to their office. It was like I had to go out and hustle the money for what I wanted to do. And that teaches a very valuable lesson.
Did you really run into the diabetic excuse a lot?
Every third house.
Really?
Yeah. Well, but I'm a diabetic. Oh,
really?
They at least weren't getting offended that you were there.
No.
Like, I'm a diabetic. Please.
You should.
What's the matter with you? You should know this by now.
Look at these ankles. Clearly,
Right.
I have a
Kind
problem.
of slapping your head. Get that murderer out of my house.
I do wonder what happened in life. It's probably just that experience alone that made you go from being a kid and walking around selling door to door to giant no soliciting sign on the house. Nobody come by. I don't want any.
A kid.
Really?
Yeah, a baby. A baby does that.
That'll do that,
I have 3 big dogs who love to bark their heads off at anything resembling a shadow at the front door. So I just post a giant no soliciting sign because I've had it like 4 or 5 times where you just get the baby down. He's been fighting a nap all day long, and he's been yelling and screaming and yelling and screaming, and then he drifts off to beautiful, restful sleep.
And then
And
someone
then
knocks
some
on the door.
a-hole at the front door, ding dong, and the dogs go crazy. The baby's up, awake, full crying, and that's why you get the giant no soliciting sign.
So we don't have a no soliciting sign in our house, but my wife works from home and we have dogs, and they bark whenever someone's at the door. So she put up a post-it note that says, "Don't ring the doorbell. Just text me if you need. Don't knock or ring the doorbell. Just text me if you need something." And I know that people have seen that note and stood there dumbfounded as to what to do next. Like, should I knock? Well, no, it says not to knock. I can't ring the doorbell. I don't know what to do now. I'm
Should
completely
I text her? Do you want a Jehovah's Witness Bible or?
Oh man, I'd ring the doorbell. I'd just go right for it. Ding! They open the door. Have you heard the good news?
You'll
Like,
get
yeah,
back-
just get right in
You'll
front
get a
of
very
that.
mad person on the other end of that
You
door.
would.
Well, they're probably gonna say no anyway, right? I mean, what are you? You're outside shilling knives or vacuums or something. I mean, come on.
My wife told me I overreacted, but there was a guy who was.
Invisible
So you
cloak.
missed the air quotes if you listen to the show.
Well,
Like
but
that's
again,
what it's all about.
You can hear it. You can
Yeah.
hear it in the voice. Because this happened. Baby went down. Door opened. Door. Ding dong. Dogs lose their mind, and they just stood there. So the dogs keep losing their mind, just jumping around. So I have them corral them, put them in crates, and put them away. She goes and checks on the baby, and then I go outside to 2 men in white shirts and black ties, and I say, "Hey, hey, can you not read? It says no soliciting." He goes, "Sir, we're not soliciting."
Ooh.
And I was like, "We're trying to spread the good word."
Yep.
And so then we had a different conversation that I won't repeat right now.
I didn't use many good words.
But my wife goes, "You overreacted. They're just trying to do their job." Like, no, they're not. They're trying to bother us on this lovely Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was justified in that.
That's a whole other topic. Is spreading the good news solicitation?
I don't know that we need to get into this.
I don't think we do. It's for another show.
Smart producer back there.
We
There
should
we go.
probably discuss the Girl Scout cookie thing, though. That's why we
Oh
started
yeah,
this
Thin
bit.
Mint. Thin Mint won. Thin Mint
Oh,
was the.
well, you
was-
just
yeah.
jumped right to the end.
Yeah. Well.
Well, I mean,
Where's the
Of
build
course
up?
it won. Of course it won. Who? I mean, a Thin Mint in a freezer is
No way.
the absolute pinnacle of Girl Scout cookie. Come on.
All right, first off, you can't get the assist from the freezer to work in. I'd say
Yeah, you
out,
can.
out of the box is the way to go. Like right out.
Well, they're still good out of
open
the
the
box.
package, eat it.
They're good out of the box.
Yeah, but you can't work in. That's like your Reese's peanut butter cup thing, which is a good tip. To be fair, Reese's peanut butter cups are better if you
the
throw them in the
freezer-
freezer.
the
It's-
freezer
it's,
Reese's
a, good, it's a
peanut butter cup
solid
is
point,
amazing.
but you can't say that a Reese's peanut butter cup is better than other candy bars because you can freeze it like that.
It is though
Yeah,
because
but
you can do that.
All right.
Other candy bars in the freezer suck.
Regardless of
Reese's
the-
peanut butter is great.
Regardless of the freezer thing, okay, let's move past that. I'd argue Samoas. Where do they end up on the list? Or Caramel Delights.
Samoas were on the list, but
On
they
the
didn't.
list?
Yeah, they didn't make the top 3.
What? What were the top 3?
So Thin Mints, my favorite tagalongs are the peanut butter ones.
Oh yeah, tagalongs,
Yeah.
peanut butter sandwich
those
cookies.
are
And
good.
then
Yeah.
Probably also good in the freezer.
probably are.
Yeah.
And then I think Samoas may have come in the third, so that's not bad. But they're also relatively new, as it says here, is that they launched a new brand of. No, that's s'mores.
S'mores.
I can read s'mores ranked third.
Yeah.
Because it was new.
S'mores.
Yeah, s'mores.
Watch out for the
s'mores of those.
Watch out for the s'mores, by the way, because along with the ever-running scam of getting you to buy Girl Scout cookies by guilting you into it emotionally, prices go up. S'mores, $5 a box. Those things are at a premium, so watch out if you order a box
they're
of
inching
s'mores.
up.
They
Yeah.
didn't.
It's the new normal.
I ordered a box of s'mores. The person I ordered from did not tell me that. I just got to the end and they were like, "Oh no, it's $5." I was like, "What? Really? Come on." Well, it's a Girl Scout cookie. It's for a good cause. Yeah,
Dirty
yeah,
tactics.
I got
Yeah, they got you
That's
now.
also 150% markup. So I mean, it is what you want it to be, I guess.
This is capitalism.
Yeah.
So well,
I'd
not
argue it's
surprised.
highway robbery. All right, but
Sure.
Either way.
I will say this: the reason why Thin Mints got the nod as America's favorite is because it's used in everything from Dunkin' Donuts Thin Mint iced coffee to Thin Mint yogurt, and also the brewery here in town, Lakewood, has a Thin Mint stout.
Hey, really?
Which is, by the way, phenomenal. I think I've only ever seen it in the brewery.
Wow.
So if you're there on a weekend for a tour, the Thin Mint is sensational.
You got to seek it out.
Yeah.
I always like to make a case for Samoas or caramel delights. It depends on what region you're in, I guess. Those are my favorite. But man, like, it's funny how we can have almost a national conversation about Girl Scout cookies because everybody has some experience with them.
Sure.
And how rabid Thin Mint fans are, man. I've run into some people that will die on the hill that is Thin Mints. And clearly with this list, you don't need to because they're the best. So
I mean, I was that way for a good portion of my life. I've branched out, but still Thin Mints, again, are my favorite.
Sure. Hey, I can get behind it. Thin Mints are a solid cookie. They're not my number one, but they got to be number two.
Mint
or
and
three.
chocolate. I mean,
yeah,
what can you go wrong
It's
with
the
that?
York
Come on.
peppermint patty of cookies.
I'm gonna throw a Zach one.
What do you got?
I don't like it.
What do you not like? What do you not
I don't
like?
like it.
I
don't like
I like how
them.
that's her Zach impression.
Whoa, hey, yeah, what is that supposed to be?
That's a solid Zach impression.
No, it's not. I like things. Stop that. Anna, come on.
We cannot agree all the time.
We can agree on things sometimes. I'm not the only one that doesn't like things. Josh had a soapbox about how Girl Scout cookies are a scam or something. Come on now.
I love that. I love it.
All right.
I know
no.
what? I had other things, but no, that's how we're going to end the show. Because I loved Anna's Zach impression. If we can grab that and use that over and over again on the loop, that'd be
I
awesome.
didn't even see it coming, Anna. All right.
Again, I'm sorry for the randomness of today's show. We were all over the place, but
I'm not sorry.
We do every
I love it.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here talking about topical things. We'd love to have you join the show. You can reach out to podcast with an S at realnewspr.com. That's podcasts at realnewspr.com. Or just leave a comment in the Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter feed that you are watching this video from currently, and we'll be happy to get back to you and have you join our show. Thank you guys so much. Signing off from the Lincoln Center, it is Zach Lewis, Matt Stoker, and Xavier, and myself, Josh Hart, saying bye.